Tomorrow wait to... Hello everyone, we are back on another episode of Twitcha's Time. So this week's episode, we're going to be interviewing a very beautiful guest. Her name is Mckayla Patritz Darmawan. Mckayla Patritz Darmawan, or better known as Mckayla Patritz, was born in Jakarta, 23rd of June in 1995. She is 19 years old and she is a photo model and Indonesian actress. Mckayla Patritz, who has bloodline of Australian, Indonesian, and Dutch, is the daughter of Astrid Darmawan, a former Indonesian model. Mckayla is a newcomer actress who first started her acting career as Viola in an Indonesian soap opera called Ganteng-Ganteng Serigala in 2014. She then got roles in various Indonesian TV shows and movies such as Cowokku Superboy, Emak Ija Pingin ke Makkah, and Tenggelamnya Kapal Van der Wijk. Before she started her acting career, Mckayla is known as a model. She modeled for several well-known designers such as Severe Lavinia and Ivan Gunawan. Currently, now she has two careers in hand, one as an actress and second as a gym owner called Body Tag. Let's see what she has to say about media and how it affects her career. Right now, we got it right now, so get up right now, 'cause all we got is right now.
Decided to take a gap year to work. The reason why I decided to work rather than go to university was actually because my mom told me that, why don't you try to work for this year so you can pay for your own university. At the end of the day, maybe you'll have more satisfaction when you graduate from university knowing that you paid for yourself. She said, so the only way to do this, you have to take a gap year to work. So my motivation was actually just to get money, basically, to pay for my own university, for my own living, for everything, starting from now. But I knew that since I'm 19, I don't have the rights to work like with a normal type of job yet. So I realized that the only way for me to find a job that pays well is acting. I don't actually have a motivation to become an actor, no, but it's all I can do right now at this type of age in Indonesia, so I had to do it basically. Since I actually don't want to become an actor, instead I actually want to become a art dealer. And right now my role model, her code name is called Golden Touch, and what she does is she deals about art to a lot of clients around Asia. And what I like about it is that she plays her range around $1 million type of art, and I love that because she tries to find artworks that are just really hard to find. So she always challenges herself, and she's quite old already. Acting means to me it's quite different, yeah, because in Indonesia, there's 3 different types of acting. There's for advertising, there's for sinetron, right, over here, and also for film. I realized that all of them are completely different on how you act. And that's what makes it quite fun, actually, especially when you get a job in a month. In this month, you say, oh, this week, Mckayla, you have the advertisement. And then after that, next week, you have FTV for like a couple of days. And after that, you have film. It's quite fun because you get all these different types of characters that you have to play with, but you have to already be prepared by the last one. So you get really confusing, but that's the challenge. I mean, the fun part is there. So for acting in film, it's quite Hollywood style, meaning it still has to look really normal, the acting. But then when you do advertising and iklan and sinetron FTV, baru it's lebay. In Indonesia, they love it when it's acting is a bit over to the top. And I find that actually much harder rather than acting normally. Because acting normally, you can actually use your own, your own type of way, just acting as yourself, but using a different name, using a different character and their story and everything, right? But then when you do advertising and sinetron, it's like you have to be completely someone that you're not, and it's fun acting as someone else, but now and then it's a bit over to the top. But it sells, so sometimes acting is just about making the other person happy, making the client happy, not about yourself.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Last year I did sinetron for Ganteng-Ganteng Serigala, and that I have to say was quite a challenge because there was a lot of fighting. And I have to say, callingannya is a bit challenging because I would get called to go to the location at 2 a.m. to do fighting scenes. And the fighting scenes are quite long. For one scene, it could take us about 30 to 45 minutes just to take one scene, and I used to have about 6 to 7 fighting scenes starting from 2 a.m. and I would go home at 9 a.m. in the morning. So I have to say the challenging thing is that overcoming the timeline of when to shoot, when you can hang out with your friends, when you can hang out with your family, when can you sleep, it changes your whole time. Because my character was actually a queen vampire and I was alone, which was weird. I didn't have any of anak buah, maksudnya like, slaves and everything, because I kept killing my own kids. So they're my kids and I kept killing them. So at the end of the day, I ended up having to fight by myself, and I would have to fight against 4 or 5 different guys. And that's quite difficult because you had to physically actually fight. And these guys, their muscle, their like bone structure and everything, it hurts. So my pants, like from here to here, it was bruised to the point that on the 5th day of me shooting, karena itu kan stripping, right? So every single day aku dapat callingan, maybe at 1 a.m., 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. and I would go home the next day at like 9 or 10 or 11 a.m. The 5th day, what happened is because I did too much fighting and my hands could not rest. Even though every single day when I got home, I would put an ice pack on it, bengkaknya gila banget. And then what happened is I had to go to the hospital. On the 5th day, I completely just fainted because my hands just went super, super blue. No blood was rushing in because it was too much contact. Masuk rumah sakit ako on the 5th ambulance all the way to the closest rumah sakit. And then that's the challenge you have to do. I mean, I overcome it because after I woke up in the hospital, I realized, at the end of it, I'm getting paid. If you want to become an actor, you have to realize that sometimes you're going to be physically actually working hard, and you have to realize that maybe you're going to get hurt, maybe that's going to happen. I mean, there's so many, good, great actors that died in lokasi shooting kan because they did something that was actually dangerous. Firstly, it depends on what your career is. Since I have 2, which is one is acting, the other one I have my own business, right? I have a gym called Body Tech. The gym line is a micro gym, and now we already have 5 different cabang. One in Kemang, the other one in Sunter, the other one in Bintaro. So it's actually really different. Media is really good for the influence of a business like my gym, because obviously the more exposed it is, the more people will get to know about it, and the more people would come, and the more consumers I would get. But in acting, actually, you have to control it, because if you're too much exposed into the infotainment world, what happens in Indonesia, they would say kamu dicap sebagai celebrity infotainment, not celebrity, and that's a bad name for you. So actually here, you have to make sure that in the infotainment world, you're not too much exposed about your life. Because the more you are exposed about your life in the infotainment world, then people will look at you as celebrity infotainment, not celebrity. The bad thing about people here in the acting world, in the entertainment world, some people actually become an actor, become someone because they pay infotainment world to just randomly shoot about their life. So that's the last thing an actor decides to work as an actor rather than an infotainment person. They always want to make sure that the infotainment world doesn't exactly suck into their career too much. For my fitness club, every time we do a soft opening or a grand opening, I would always invite a lot of different infotainment channels like Rans and stuff like that to obviously help me promote. So that is free. If you invite, what happens is that they come willingly, obviously asking my celebrity friends to come and work out there, and then posting it on Instagram. Social media is also really, really helpful as well. Just to get the noise about my gym to go around and for people to hear, for people to see and everything, so then they would try it out. Social media, the more we see something continuously, we end up wanting to try it. We end up like, oh my god, everyone is like, the gym nih, the body tech, let's do it, let's try it. That's why I feel like trying to expose my gym into media, the best thing. Like asking them to come as willingly is the best way to do it. Because it's also your name. Your type of business end up paying for media to come, it ends up seeming like you're a little bit terpaksa. You want to make sure that you also want to give a voice to the society that we actually exposed willingly by the infotainment because we deserve to be exposed. But for acting, rather than them coming to asking me about what is my clothing line, what do I wear, what my type of makeup I use, or whatever stuff like that, they should change their questions to questions like, when you were doing this movie or when you were doing advertising, you know, what experience did you have to go through and everything? Because the problem with infotainment in Indonesia, they ask questions that I feel that are not worth answering. What's your clothing line? What type of makeup do you always wear? And what type of shoes do you usually buy? Which mall do you always hang out? No, I don't care. Like, I don't want to tell, you know, the Indonesian society about my makeup, about because that's nothing, you know, that doesn't matter what I wear, where I go. What matters is like what I had to go through to make this movie, what experience I had to go through when I was shooting Geges. No one knows. I end up going to the hospital. No one knows about that. I feel like it doesn't exactly help me in my career. My quote is, say yes and you'll figure it out afterwards, because it means basically, when I graduated from high school, I had no idea that I ended up working. I had no idea I would have 2 different careers, and this all started from saying yes to every time someone came up to me and said, do you want to act? Do you want to be in my sinetron? Do you want to be in a commercial? Do you want to be this? And I just kept saying yes, yes, yes. I had no idea how it was going to happen, what I had to do, but I said yes. And when I got to the location and they told me what I had to do, I figured it out afterwards.
Your love is perfection. Please point me in the right direction. I'ma give you all my affection. Every touch becomes infectious. Let's make out in this Lexus. There's no other love just like this. I like what you